in a world that teaches you to be independent, to be as self-sufficient as possible. They claim that they're sending us to school so that we can learn enough skills to be independent and provide for ourselves. But as you live in that mindset and that mentality for a long time, what tends to happen is that you forget the value of society, right? And basically, at the core, what is missing is that we try more and more to keep providing for ourselves, and we lose sight of when is it okay for us to ask for help. And the same thing happened to me when I was younger. I went through a really difficult situation where I was lost and felt so directionless and hopeless, and I just couldn't see an out of the situation. And I was honestly scared to ask anyone for help. I felt that why would anyone care? Because all we've been taught is to provide for ourselves, is to fend for ourselves. And especially when COVID happened and uh, the entire world just had to rely on other people in whatever situations they were in, right? Because they realized that, oh, it's not going to work. We're not going to be able to continue just providing for ourselves. But if we need help, we can ask for it. And if there's other people that we can help, then we can offer that too, right? And I think at the core of it, it is just understanding that people like helping people. It's just that simple. People like helping. I think that's one of the core tenets of human nature, being helpful and trying to be resourceful and trying to be there for each other. I wouldn't even say that's something that differentiates us from other species, because there are other species which are communal. But human nature is giving. Human nature is providing for other people, even in families. There's someone that provides for everyone else. And in other ways, each of the members of the family is providing. It doesn't just matter whether it's financial or helping out with chores or whatever it is. Everyone's doing their part, right? And when people start to think that their part doesn't really add up, or that their part isn't contributing to the greater good, that's when society starts to fall. Because individuals think that what they're contributing doesn't have any effect to the outcome of the situation. It's easy for us to think that we are a burden on other people when we require help, but doesn't living itself technically qualify as a burden if that's how you're going to look at accepting help from other people? Because think about it, just the fact that you're existing on this planet and consuming resources to live here, you're exerting your influence, right? By breathing in the air and exhaling carbon dioxide. Your breath is out there in the world. How much ever you weigh is the amount of weight that's being put on the ground. Where you live is consuming electricity. Uh, so on and so forth. I can name like 1,000 things of the impact that you have just by existing. So then, therefore, how can we start to count how much we're giving and how much we're receiving? It's all far too much. You don't have to necessarily have gotten something from someone to then be eligible to asking them for something back. Because life works in a circle. And in a circle, you will only meet the point behind you by going all the way around the circle, right? In the same way, it's not necessary that the hand that you feed will feed you back. Wow. Yeah, it's not. And why should it, right? Because if you stop looking at life so transactionally, things just move smoother, because you don't have any expectations on how the things are coming back to you. Asking is hard. I really get it. There was a whole year and a half, where I was really struggling. I didn't have the right resources around me to take care of myself. And I felt like I was going in deeper and deeper and deeper. And especially during COVID, when I lost my apartment and my jobs and everything. And my friend's parents agreed to let me in. And they housed me for 3 whole months during COVID. And they let me stay with them. They fed me, they sheltered me, um, not just physically, but also emotionally. They were there for me, they spoke with me. And on top of that, they also stimulated my interests. They gave me books to read, they encouraged my hobbies, they asked me how I was doing and what I was interested in learning and gave me the tools that I needed to do that. And them doing that for me really helped me think about how I can show up more for people. How how just a phone call can make someone stay and make them feel like you wanted to stay in touch with them. How a regular visit could just shift the mood and make everything light and jolly, and you can just talk about things that happen in your day or anything new. It's just a way to keep in touch. I'm just so grateful that I asked, and I'm so grateful that there've always been people to help me. I don't know how. I don't know how I could ever fully express my gratitude, but that's the point. The point is that when people are there for you, it makes you want to be there even more for the people. That's the thing, right? Asking is like opening a door. If you never open the door, you'll never know what's on the other side, and nothing outside of you can ever see you. That's what it is, right? Because to seek help isn't a weakness. I've never looked at it as such, but I know that there's people that if they equate being able to do everything by themselves, then they would automatically see seeking help as a sign of vulnerability or as a sign of a weakness. But being self sufficient isn't that great because you can't ever be truly self sufficient. If there was a way to be 100% self sufficient, then by all means, continue and go ahead and live life as you please. But we as a species were meant to interact with each other. Even by having a conversation with someone, you have taken from them the thoughts that were in their head that have now been communicated to you verbally, and now you're processing them. So now someone else's thoughts live inside of your head. You've taken from them. What have you given them? We start to look at things that way. We're always giving and taking. We're always giving and taking. To live and to breathe is to take in air and give out air. That's it. So by refusing to ask, you're actually breaking the cycle. Because the fact that you had the urge to ask in the first place, the fact that the idea existed that, oh, there is a possibility to ask. Then when you shut that down, you're shutting down a door to connection. It wasn't easy, I'll be honest. There's times when I feel guilty for asking. I feel like how can I ever repay the people that I've taken from? How can I be there for them in different ways? And that's when I realized that me being open to ask is automatically opening the door for others to ask also. And asking, the more I say it, the more it sounds like a taboo word or something like ask. No, you ask him. No, you ask her. Like, it sounds a bit heavy, right? Because it feels like you're asking for something that was uncalled for. But I don't think connection is something that you need to call for. It just is. And all you have to do is ask.